President Trump's impeachment trial is set to begin Tuesday. Yesterday, in their trial briefing, House impeachment managers claimed, quote, President Trump's conduct is the framers' worst nightmare. The evidence overwhelmingly establishes that he is guilty. The Senate must use that remedy now to safeguard the 2020 U.S. election, protect our constitutional form of government, and eliminate the threat that the president poses to America's national security. Here to react is South Carolina GOP Senator Tim Scott. I had the honor and privilege of serving with Senator Scott back in the House of Representatives. Senator, thank you for being here with us this morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. The Democrats are making the case that they're trying to protect the 2020 election. And this is somewhat what Congressman Al Green said, is they need to impeach him because they're actually worried that he might win in November.
Absolutely. I was going to start with that point, to be honest with you. The most important statement made about this entire impeachment process was made by Congressman Al Green when he said, if we don't impeach him, he might win, number one. Number two, Nancy Pelosi held the impeachment documents for nearly a month, which means there is no existential threat. There is no national security threat. And number three, the desire for the process to include witnesses is only to put on trial senators from Colorado, from North Carolina, from Maine, from Iowa. Said differently, I believe the Democrat strategy is not to bring more illumination to the case, but to put a bullseye on the back of Cory Gardner, Joni Ernst, Martha McSally, Tom Tillis. That is the strategy they're using to try to win back the Senate. This is actually not about removing the president. This is about removing enough senators in the Republican Party in order to take control of the Senate and to rebuke the president for the next 4 years, because they're pretty concerned. And I think they believe that the American people are now solidly behind President Donald Trump, and their greatest fears are coming true, because the fact is that this president has focused on bringing opportunities to the poorest communities in the nation. This president has helped bring the minority unemployment rate to record lows for Asians, for African Americans, for Hispanics. Our nation's unemployment rate is at 3.5%. Our stock market is going through the ceiling. They are trembling in their boots. So the only thing they have focused on their minds today is not President Trump. It is removing senators from office so that they can have control of the United States Senate.
Well, and they can't have it both ways. You can't, in your opening statement, say that the evidence is overwhelming and then also make the case, oh, by the way, we need to hear additional witnesses that we didn't hear of before. I think that contrast. I've got to move on to the economy because,
Absolutely.
you know, the conventional wisdom, at least if you hear it from the Democrats, is that the African-American community is overwhelmingly going to support Joe Biden. They're going to get behind the Democrats, but what you've been able to accomplish with your economic zones and the economy thriving, is that full? I mean, are they moving down a path where they actually can't produce the results that they say they're going to be able to produce?
There's no question that President Trump's economic agenda has brought more prosperity into the African American community than we've seen in my lifetime, number one. Number two, what I think they are deathly afraid of is the last 3 polls have indicated African American support at 30% for President Trump. 30% is a number unheard of by a Republican president. But this president is producing the type of results that only say one thing to the African American community. We believe that there is high potential, incredible people who only needed opportunity and access to those opportunities. President Trump has brought so many of those to the community that I believe that we're going to have a record turnout on behalf of the president.
Senator, thank you so much. Really do appreciate you joining us this morning.